Hello, my loves, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to your career/finance reading. My name is KellynLoves. I am your reader, your painter and fairy for this evening, or today, or whenever you're watching. And I'm so excited that you're here. I'm so excited that you're part of my little tribe, my little community. I'm so excited if you're a viewer, a subscriber, a liker, anything. I'm just happy that you're here and that we get to exchange energies and do a reading that's helping both of us. We are healing each other. Everything that I say, I also need to hear, okay? So don't get it twisted. You are healing me just as much as I am healing you. I need to hear some career advice, so I am giving so I can also receive. But yeah, I love you so much. I'm so thankful for YouTube and this community and my little growth on here, this journey. But yeah, I love you so much, all right? So today's reading, yes, of course, is a career and finance reading. It is about where you're at, how you're building, a little bit of a gas you up and hype up compliments on your career and your skill, as well as some advice and check-in kind of a thing. All right? So yeah, we have three different groups to choose from. I will show you the cards in just a second. You will pick which card you resonate with the most. What makes you feel confident? That's the one I want you to pick. The one that you feel confident choosing. And I like to go based more off of a body decision. Like if you're thinking too hard, try to let your finger click it and don't doubt it. Because that's more confident in your body. If you're having problems thinking about it, just kind of see where your hand goes. Maybe, but you'll pick the one that you resonate with the most. The timestamps will be in the description box below, and that'll be the messages for you. My social media and tip jar are down below if you want to support or follow or add value to me and continue our connection further. But yeah, that's what I got. All right, we're going to do a prayer first, of course, to dedicate the reading, set our intentions, bring in the energies. And then, I'll show you the cards and we'll get started. All right? I love you so much. I'm so excited. I'm so excited for us to get some career healing. All right? I know I need a little bit of that and some insight, right? Okay. All right. So I'm excited. I'm thankful you're here. I love you so much. And now we'll get into our prayer. All right. All right. I encourage you to breathe with me. All right. Dear Heavenly Father and Mother, dear Mother Gaia, the great cosmic mother, my angels and ancestors that are all about love and peace and wisdom and growth, to the aliens and energies and entities that are also about peace and wisdom and growth and abundance, I invite y'all all into this reading, and I ask for blessings for me and my viewers. I call in my higher self and the higher selves of all my viewers, that we can connect and talk to each other, that this will be a conversation with our God selves. I pray for dedication of my energy and my words and actions to be dedicated to love, to wisdom, to truth and abundance. I ask for healing and joy and peace and love. And in the name of love, amen, ashe, so mote it be, and let's go. All right? The fullness and abundance. I almost just didn't even want to talk because this feeling of fullness is so beautiful. Okay, but anyway, let's get into these 3D cards. All right, so yeah, like I said, we have 3 different groups to pick from. They're all animals. All right, so the first card to choose from is the hummingbird. Okay. The second group to choose from is the gazelle. All right. And the last card to pick from is the swan. Okay, so we have the hummingbird, the gazelle, and the swan. And sometimes I choose the cards, but these just came out on their own, and they told me what order they wanted to be in, okay? All right, so we will go ahead and get started with group number 1, the hummingbird. And yeah, I'll see you in your message, okay? All right, group number 1, if you chose the hummingbird, these are your messages for your career/finance reading. All right, hummingbird group, let's get started. When I look at the hummingbird, I always think about how it has all this, it has like all the colors. It has all of the black, that it's kind of in the darkness, but then it's just radiating this light. It is in the light, even though it's surrounded by darkness. I'll say that. And then this rainbow creativity that just is oozing off of it. But so yeah, it's really being a light to the darkness. And in this case, the darkness being kind of negativity. So being this positive light. And then I like how the rainbow is kind of bridging the white in between the black. For me, representing that the creativity is what's integrating the two. Your creativity is what is bridging the two. So you might be either like your environment is kind of negative, or maybe you are just really building yourself out of whether it is poverty or your family kind of sense of poverty. Like the darkness could be like generational ideas of like not having success or whatever, and that you are bringing in this light. You're clearing out, kind of cutting karmic or ties. Actually, I meant to say generational curses, but karmic ties came out. But generational like stuff or karmic whatever, and what's really bursting through is your creativity, your creative mindset. And whether that's just you're creatively, like you're not going the traditional route, you're not doing something the normal template or whatever, and you're just like all of your success and stuff comes from you doing things your way and you doing things with your passion and creativity in the forefront. But people really see you as the light, and they see you as doing it differently. You're doing things different, and that's bringing so much light because it's so authentic to you. It's creative, it's innovative, and it's so authentic. And that's what's bringing the light to you, to your business, to your family, to your ancestors. I mean, I'm really getting that this goes beyond just business here. Like this is something that you are redefining, like the capacity of success, the idea of the limit on what success you guys can have as like a family. You're expanding that, you're breaking that, you are creating new paths, new mold, like you're breaking the mold, and you're introducing new life, not only to you and your family, but to your whole line. Okay. All right. You could also just have amazing ideas, amazing communication, and the way that you think, like your ideas, and the way that you're just creatively communicative. It's really changing things. It's really healing things for you and the people around you, because you're giving new ways of thinking, and it's just sharing so much light. You know, it's like almost after a war or something, and then you being able to pick up the pieces and build something new. And it's like, you're so resourceful, you're so creative, where other people would have been defeated. You are bringing in light, bringing creativity and newness and freshness and enthusiasm and joy and movement. And I mean, because the hummingbird's kind of hyper, right? It's chasing that sugar. And so you're just bringing a new movement. And I love that the hummingbird has this like red on its head, because it's really like, okay, you have your root chakra in mind, you have that security and stability in mind. And so the fact that you're bringing so much lightness into this world with your creativity, but you really have that stability in mind, and that's what you're talking about, like it's on the throat. You're really talking about like, how do we get stable? Like if your generation or whatever has been not really having stability in who they are, like they might be stable because they have a job, but like they're not stable in their soul of who they are. That's what you're doing. You're like, how do we be authentic and bring in this safety and security while being authentic and creative and unique, not just like being stable because we're doing things the way that the template has always been done. Like, that's not fun. Like, let's be stable in ourselves. Let's be stable in our unique path. Let's be stable in us. Yeah. All right. Okay. Hummingbird group. I wanted to say just what makes you so abundant. I mean, that's basically the question. But how's your career going? Career reading. Stay focused. How is your career and finances? Hummingbird group, how is their career and finances doing? How career and finances? Career and finances. Okay, all right. Wow. Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay. Like, the fool energy just sums up what I was saying. You are being like a fool because you're being authentic, you're being original, you're being true to yourself. And of course, this is going to look very foolish, because if everybody else is like, here's the template, and you're not doing that, you're going to look like a fool. But a fool also has its own inner wisdom and originality that it's going on. And you know, if you're building something new, you're always going to kind of look like a fool, right? Because it's new, and that takes a lot of risk. It takes a lot of, I want to say like cojones. It takes a lot of inner willpower and drive, and like an inner stability. Yes, you got the Queen of Cups and the Ace of Cups and the Empress and the Strength card. Okay, so this divine feminine energy is just gorgeous. I think I might have been like assuming that this kind of divine energy, feminine energy, would have gone to like the Swan card. So if you were kind of like deciding between the Swan and this, it's like, no, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Your emotion is leading the way, and you're just sitting in this power. The fact that you're bringing so much light to the darkness, and when I see the Strength card, it has me thinking about the small and mighty kind of part of being the hummingbird. And like, the hummingbird is very solid in itself. It is a very specific frequency. It is a very unique, solid animal that's like, it has a very specific mission in life, and it's to get sugar and find the beauty in life, right? Like the hummingbird is going to the flowers, it is going to the joyfulness, it's going to the beauty of life. So the fact that you're kind of chasing the beauty of life and the nectar of life, it's like, what else would you want to chase? But because of that, you have so much good sweetness to give. And so you have this creative, like artistic originality that's backed by emotional stability. Okay, you have your emotions in check, and you're leading or maybe not like your emotions in check, because I don't want to make you think that like being emotionally intelligent means that you're like stoic, because that's not true. To me, being emotionally intelligent is about being able to feel through those emotions and not directly identify or demonize bad emotions or something like that, but to just be able to feel through them and then use them, especially if you're using them creatively, like you're putting them back into art, back into photography, back into painting, back into writing, back into school, whatever. You are using your using your emotions to fuel your creativity. And just to be this journey, to be on your journey, to be a full to the process is beautiful, because it's like you're an entrepreneur. Okay, you are an entrepreneur, and you're leading with your emotions, you're leading with art, and you're leading with some vulnerability that maybe people would like not recommend or whatever, but you're like, I'm not gonna build on anything else than my truth. I can't. You can't, build on anything else but the truth. So yeah, and you're so determined, you're so driven to seek out this beauty and love and emotional fulfillment is so gorgeous. It's like you're just so driven to get to this beautiful state. And I see it. I see you, and I think it's because getting to that beautiful state means that you have a lot to give and that you have a lot of beauty to get to other people. I really believe that you're getting to this beauty in life. You're wanting to get to this success in life, this beautiful home and everything, and fashion and stuff, so that you can experience with other people, so that you can bring other people into that beauty and create beautiful, whether it's like photo shoots or just stories or parties or get-togethers or whatever, dinners. But it's like you are wanting to get to this elevated place so that you can bring people into your frequency, bring people into this magical creative world of yours. Okay, so you did get when we're talking about finances and career, you've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Both were in reverse, which I just take that as like you kind of needing to recognize more like where you're at. But there is a little side message of you're focusing on your emotions a lot, and you have your emotions stable, or you have your emotions in check, and I see how you're fueling everything in your creativity by your emotions. But just know that the physicality of things comes in, when career and finances is a very physical, material thing. And so it's like getting that emotional stuff and like how can we make that a little bit more solid, a little bit more grounded, and a little bit more practical. So, just that kind of message of let's get a little more grounded, a little more practical, and a little more routine, a little bit more, it's like you're kind of giving a lot. So making sure that you're molding yourself as well, and you're giving equally back to yourself. That's that message. Making sure that you're not just giving away stuff, making sure that you are building things for yourself, because what you're building is going to be given to other people. So making sure that you're really building it solid for you, and while you're building, you don't want to be giving a lot away, because you're building foundation, right? But yeah, so just really giving back to yourself, getting that groundedness, the stability, and making sure you're really giving back that same security and support that you've been giving other people. And then with the Three of Pentacles, this is a card of collaboration. So this is a card letting you know in reverse, being like, you don't have to do it all on your own. Please, like there's a lot of people that want to collaborate with you, and yeah, this message is definitely for me too. But there's a lot of people that want to collaborate with you. There's a lot of amazing opportunities, and like you're going to get more grounded and solid in yourself when you work with other people, because everybody's going to be adding their own thing, and then it just kind of makes you more solidified in your own frequency because you are combining with other people. So it's like to combine, you need to know who you are individually more first. And that process of just collaborating will already do that. It will make you more solid in yourself. So if you had a fear or something, like maybe you would lose yourself, or there's something that like you would kind of lose if you worked with other people, then that's not the case. Not saying that you need to build your whole business with somebody else, but that to collaborate with people in your business. Like they don't have to be a partner, or they don't have to be a CEO or whatever in your whole company, but you do at least need to create with other people, work with other people, combine, that kind of thing. And just knowing that you are an amazing team player. Like to get on a team, like it's like they don't have to own your company, but can you bring you and your brand, or you and your business, or you and your art, staying whole in yourself, staying an individual, but then can you get onto a team with that? Or can you get into a project with that? With like, yeah, can you get into more projects with other people, combine, collaborate, so that more people can see you, right? So that more audiences can see you, so that you can make more money. There's just a lot of amazing opportunities once you kind of combine and collaborate and connect with others. Because you have so much to give. You are so abundant and fertile, and people see this. They recognize how fertile you are. So working with you is only going to be a success. So just knowing if there's any kind of like thing in your mind, like, oh, what's going to happen if I try to combine or whatever, it's like you're very wanted. People really want to connect with you and collaborate, and they know it would be abundant. So yeah, they're confident that it would be abundant. So hopefully you can be more confident that it would be too. Yeah, you just have this inner strength that really comes from this like vulnerability and stuff, and it's so admired. And so that's why people are like, you're honest, and you have this authentic expression. So of course they want to work with that, because they're like, that only brings out the authenticity in others more. All right, Hummingbird group, where's your career at? What's going on in the Hummingbird's career and finances? Oh. What's going on in the career? What's going on in Hummingbird's career? What's going on in Hummingbird's career? You know, I just said all of that stuff, but then partnership came out. Okay. So maybe it is a partnership. It could also mean that you're loving your lover, your partner, is a part of your success. And that is part of this emotional authenticity and stuff. It's like maybe the kind of familyness and your business, there's not really a separation. Like the vibe or whatever is very like at home kind of. It just feels like you're at home even when you're doing business. So it could mean that you're partnering up with somebody. I really am getting like your partner in life, or your partner in like your best friend or your significant other or whatever. That love that you share and that support is helping your career and your finances. But it could also mean that you're just getting a partnership in your business if you're an entrepreneur. As well, it could just be a confirmation on the collaboration with people. So either way, whether you feel like it's about your kind of romantic situation, you committing to that more to give you more stability so that you can do more in your career. Because like if your home life is taken care of, or you have somebody to help you at home more, then you can do more in your career. Or it could be that you're really combining forces with somebody in your business. But then I'm definitely really getting like collaborate, work with people. Either way, it's about you being solid in yourself and then combining with other people so that you're more supported, and that way you can do more and you can give more. So whatever option, if you're kind of confused or whatever, just know that if there's people that you can think about or people that have mentioned that they want to help support you, that's who I'm talking about. It's combining with those people that want to support you and that they've mentioned that, or they've shown that in their actions that they want to support you. That's who I'm talking about. Okay? Then you got this compassion card, which I think really has to do with this Ace of Cups, the Queen of Cups, the Strength card, the Empress. I mean, this is your compassion just shining through. Your compassion is being seen by others. You are seen in business as very compassionate. And it also is a note to you to have more compassion for yourself, because you're doing a lot, you're giving a lot, and you're giving so much compassion to others. So please give the same back to yourself. And then you got the Liberation card, which is like kind of this bird thing at the top, which reminds me of the hummingbird. But you're bringing this slice of paradise to people, and you're really liberating people with your authenticity, and you're really just liberating people with your authenticness and the way that you're just going creatively out of the box thinking. Yeah. All right. Hummingbird group, what is a reflection of their career? How's their career going? It's a card for their career and finances. Career and finances for the hummingbird. Career and finances for the hummingbird. Career and finances for the hummingbird. Okay, you got the Kiss, and I'm just like, the partnership card. It's something about your romance being support for your business. Okay, normally, we like to compartmentalize and things, but this is not the case for you. Like, you're combining everything, the emotion, the authenticity. It has to do with something with romance, and something with you being in that kind of romantic power is actually helping your career. Your romantic energy is actually helping your career, and you being in that more romantic energy is fueling and bringing in support for you. You got the Flame card. I mean, and I feel this with the Liberation, and it's like you bringing heat, bringing light, bringing warmth, bringing new ideas, bringing passion to people. You got the Shapeshifter card, okay? And this is what I think is why you do make a good person to collaborate with, is because you know who you are, but you're still extremely adaptable. And that adaptability is why you do so good in a partnership and in collaborating and stuff like that. You got this heat to you. I don't know if you, like, I'm almost getting like you could be like a couples therapist or something. Or maybe you're just creating art that is romantic, or maybe just whatever you're doing, it requires a little bit of a softer touch. So when you go home and you're more romantic, it brings in the right energy that you need for work. But yeah, something about this romantic energy is really, really helpful for your career. All right, Hummingbird group. What is a reflection of their career? How's their career going? Or what do they need to know about their career? Career health. Career health. Okay. You got the Three of Wands, and in this deck, it's the Purpose card. So I get this. It's like this kiss, this romantic, this emotional energy is because this is soul purpose energy. This is soul purpose, business, something. Whatever you're building, your entrepreneurship, your creativity, your business whatever you are building your business about is fueled by your creativity and passion. And that's why you being in romantic energy is fueling this, is because you're making a business off of passion, and passion needs love. It needs fuel. It needs a lot to be, your cup really needs to be filled up to be giving a lot of people that same passion. And then you got the Seven of Wands, which is in this card, or in this deck, the Courage card. So it's like, even though you're kind of fighting off these different energies, fighting off maybe like naysayers or people that are like trying to get you to do something that's more like kind of basic, or it's just like you're forging your own path. That's that Courage card. So it takes a lot of bravery, it takes a lot of passion, it takes a lot of you being confident and stable in what you're doing and choosing it over and over again. Like, you have to make the choice to choose what you're doing over and over again, because maybe it's not the most logical, maybe it's not the most practical or whatever. That's why it's like I'm kind of mentioned, like, can we bring some of these dreamy energies more practical, because just so people could understand it and so you can feel more stable. But that's only because it is so dreamy, it is so passionate, it is so creative, it's so artsy. So yeah, it's going to take a lot of you almost kind of defending what you're doing, defending your purpose, defending your heart, defending your love, defending that, like, no, I will bring passion, I will bring romance, I will bring creativity, I will bring soul, I will bring sweetness and sensitivity into business. I will build my career and business off something that's compassionate and sweet and loving and authentic and artsy. And no, I'm not going to do things the typical way. So yeah, you kind of have to fight for that. You kind of have to fight for that sensitivity and sweetness to remain in your life. And you kind of have to protect that sweetness and sensitivity. But you're in your purpose, you're in your passion. So of course that's going to take some courage to stay in, you know, because it's super authentic, and that just draws in you're forging a new path. So it's like if you go into a jungle and you're making a new trail, you're obviously going to have to cut down a lot because that path has not been cut out yet, you know? It just kind of takes a little bit of that fighting for your space a little bit. Because if you want a lot of space for emotion and sensitivity, you got to create that space, right? All right, Hummingbird group, what is how's your career doing? Or let's see. What would be best embraced for your career? What would be best embraced for your career? What would be best embraced for your career? Wow. This Rose Phoenix card I really love, and I think this has to do with that liberation, and it's about phoenixing and fully blooming the rose phoenix. But when you say rose phoenix, it makes this fiery bird a little bit more flowery and sensitive, right? It's bringing in that sweetness and compassion. It's the Empress. It's this compassion. It's you bringing in joy and being like, look, we can create this. We can create anything we want. Like, you can be an entrepreneur and be authentic. You can be in your own energy. You can put your art into the world. Like, you're motivating and inspiring to people. A new perspective change to see like how much you can operate in sensitivity. You can operate in love. You can promote love and sensitivity, and just knowing that, like, you can be completely stable in your emotions and in your sensitivity, in the way that's like you can make money on it. Not saying that your emotions are stable, but like you can build off of being somebody that's sensitive and emotional. And a lot of people will tell you can't. Like, if you're emotional, that equates being unstable. But it's like, no, you are stable because you do feel, and you are connected, and you are sensitive, and that's not going away. So it's like, might as well build off of it. And you're using your power. You could be using your spiritual gift. You could have a spiritual practice, a spiritual service that you give to people, that's healing, and that you're bringing harmony, and that it might look a little, it just might look a little different to people, but and they don't really know, like, how do you balance like that, right? It's like, whoa, I would have never put those pieces like that. But you're creating this new foundation. You're creating a new way of thinking, and it's something to be protected. It's definitely this energy of like, protect your energy, protect your sensitivity, but just know that, like, yeah, you can be sensitive and sweet and feminine and still be a boss. All right. These furries. Okay, I don't know what's happening. Okay. All right. Last few cards for this Hummingbird creative sweet group. Getting the nectar of life, liberating yourself with your authenticity, creating business off of sensitivity and vulnerability and compassion and sweetness and femininity and beautiful blooming energy and your adaptability. And yeah. All right. What are words to describe your career right now? Where you're at in your career? Or first, to describe your career. Okay, you got the change and expression card. So there is going to be a lot of changes in your business. So to kind of prepare for that there's going to be a lot of change in the way that you think of what you're building. I kind of view this, it's like you might not have thought that you would be putting that stone on top when you were putting this one on. It's like things are going to change, the structure might change, but that's okay. To kind of be flexible because you are in this space of creativity. But I mean, you're the shapeshifter, you're adaptable. So just to recognize that, like, it is going to change a lot, and there could be big changes coming very soon. Because of this passion and because you're solidifying yourself in this passion and love, be prepared for some changes because you're being so authentic in your expression. And as you express, changes will happen quickly. The more you express, the more changes will happen. The more you express yourself online, the more you express yourself with the people that you're collaborating, things are going to change quickly. All right, and what to embrace for your career? What to embrace? Truth, your truth, and growth. Knowing that growth is not, it's not something that is only happening in the good. Like, you're always growing, especially the bad almost. But either way, like, you're always growing, and to just continue that, to encourage it, and to realize just how much you're growing, and like all the tears you've cried, all of the heartbreak, all of the loss, even the money lost or whatever, all of that was for your growth. Don't regret anything. Don't regret any time that you weren't like working because you were sad. That's not the case. That was equally just as working. Anytime you were in your emotion or whatever, you were working on yourself. And even that emotional work is benefiting your career and finances because you're healing yourself, you're healing your emotions, and you're standing in your truth. To embrace your truth, embrace your sensitivity and your love, and realize this is your purpose. This is exactly where you're supposed to be, and you were meant to be unique and sensitive and expressive, and to be focused on the nectar of life and kind of nothing else. But yeah, to just really embrace your truth and realize that your truth, no matter how messy, ugly, emotional, whatever it can get sometimes, it is perfect. It is perfect. You are perfect just the way you are. And all of that is authenticity. It's authentic expression that is growing your business. It is growing your finances. Okay? So just accepting that, like, you are living in your purpose, and that's heaven on earth right there. Not that it feels maybe always like heaven on earth, but that's what everybody is wanting to get to, is to be living and doing business and creating based on what they really love and and what is really calling their soul, and that their emotions and creativity can be in line like it is for you. That's something very unique and very special. So the fact that you're a light, you're an inspiration to people to live like that is amazing. But it takes that adaptability, it takes that sensitivity, it takes that vulnerability, and you have all that. So bravo, you empress. Bravo, you expressive, beautiful rose phoenix. I love you so much. Embrace the change, embrace the emotion, because that's exactly what energy you're supposed to be in and what you're supposed to build your business on. Is that like romantic kind of energy, almost being romantic with life, being romantic with your expression. But yeah, you're living your truth, and I freaking love that. So as long as you're living your truth, it's all good. And yeah, just to know that, like, even if you've cried, even if it seems sad or whatever, this is all benefiting and healing, because that journey is inspiring. And yeah, but let's collaborate so people can really see you shine and get introduced to their authenticity by your example. All right. I love you so much. Thank you for being here, you hummingbird beautiful pile. I will see you again very soon, hopefully. My tip jar and social media is down below if you want to support further. But I love you so much. Thank you. And I'll see you again soon. All right. Bye. All right, if you chose the Gazelle pile, this is your reading. These are your messages. So as much as the Gazelle is the like leaping epitome of grace, which this card definitely has a lot of grace, I always get this divine masculine vibe from it because of like the horns and the sun and stuff. But I just love how it just sits in its power, and it's radiating this warmth and heat and confidence, but it's just sitting there in its beauty. Yeah, I love it. So definitely, I always get kind of the quiet leader vibe from this card. So you definitely get to be like the kind of quiet leader that, yeah, people don't assume, because maybe you're not leading with very overt action. You're more leading by graceful wisdom. Yeah. All right. So let's see. How is your career going? What's going on in your career? What's going on in the Gazelle's career? How's the career? Okay, so if you were stagnant in your money and finances, if you've been stagnant for a while, sitting, right? This Gazelle is sitting. It's time to stand up because money and movement is coming for you. Okay, the time of stagnation and being frozen, is loosening up. It is de-thawing. Spring has come and the sun is here to warm things up so that you can get moving. All right? Movement is coming. Yeah. I mean, I'm asking for your finances and career, and we've got the Ace of Pentacles, okay? So money is coming in. How is this money coming in? Okay, so this has been something that's like slow building. Like it's coming in fast now, but it's not like it is some sort of like quick fluke thing. This is something that's coming in quick that has been building for a long time. This is a very stable energy. And so maybe you felt super stagnant. That's because it's something that's happening that's stable and solid, and it cannot just come at its anytime because it has a lot of gravity and weight to it. So it is something that for legacy. This is the card of legacy. I'm asking about career and finances, and you get the Ace of Pentacles and the Ten of Cups, okay? This is talking about wealth that lasts you, or that lasts longer than you. This is something that you're building that is a lifelong creation. That's why it is coming in on the Knight of Pentacles. This guy is somebody that is the slowest moving knight, but he always gets to his destination. He is careful and methodical, and he's building authentically, and he's building very grounded, right? And so it's like you're not just somebody that can catch a whim, or you're not just getting crypto and making bank because of a thing. Like, no, this is something that you've built based off of your authenticity and your soul. And so it takes a while to build. It took a while because this is something that's very true to you, and it's timeless, right? This is not something that's temporary, that's a fluke, that's based off of a trend or anything like that. No, this is something that is timeless, that is your legacy, that is designed for you, that you have designed well for yourself, and that is creating stability and fulfillment for you and your family or your partner, for your life. This is something that's slow moving because it's here to stay. All right? Wow. Okay. Okay, Gazelle group. What is happening with their career? What's happening with the Gazelle's career? Synthesis. Squaring the circle. Boat. Wow. What is happening in their career? What is the card for their career? For this group's career? Career. For this group's career. So it's this, you've been stagnant. Things have been stagnant for a really long time. That's what I feel. And that you've felt empty and stagnant for a long time. It's felt kind of cold, or it's kind of felt, maybe not cold, but like it's just felt still. It felt still for a long time, and maybe you just felt empty, you felt kind of poor, kind of felt defeated, or felt just like you're not doing things right, you're not moving, or you're just kind of frustrated energy. And I think this has to do with not kind of seeing the abundance around you, because it took a while to get here. All right. It took a while. Maybe it took your whole damn life. Okay. But this abundance is ready for you. And so it's ready for you to embrace, to accept. But this is not something that like, I'm going to sit here and be like, just know you're abundant and you're abundant. Like, no, this is something that life is going to prove to you. Life is going to show you. Life is going to give you this stability, and you're going to take the steps. You're going to move up the steps. Like, it is not something that I'm just going to say flippant words and being like, you are rich, you are wealthy. It's like, yes, you are. Your soul is abundant. Your soul, your body, your mind is very rich. It is enriched with ideas and stability, and you have a lot to be a leader about, like in your mind and in your soul. I can tell that you're a leader. So obviously there's a lot in there. You have a lot of abundance within you. You are abundance. It's not like a separation for anything, but and I hope I can let you know that, and you can believe it. But this is not something that you're going to need to just believe based on my words or just any words. This is something that's going to get proven to you, that this abundance is solid. It is here for you, and it's not going anywhere, because it's based off of truth. It's based off of stability. It's based off of realness. And yeah, this synthesis I'm getting does have to, it's the card about like, or it's the idea that a lot had to get in line. A lot had to synthesize. A lot had to get in the right frequency, get in the right like language, get in the right space and time for this to happen. So it was like, yeah, we were waiting on synchronicity. It was waiting on divine timing. It was waiting for the stars to align. Okay. You can't rush that process. So if you felt empty, you felt like the abundance was never coming or whatever. Yeah, it did. It takes a lot to get everything aligned. And if you've heard that story a lot of times before, like, I'm sorry that it sounded so repetitive. I'm sorry that it sounded like the truth and the peace and abundance was never going to come. But just keep the faith up, right? And just know it's here for you. It's coming in quick. And if you can really believe in that, it takes a lot to really it's like planting a seed. It takes the more solid a plant is, the more solid a tree is, the more time it's going to take underground as a seed growing roots before it comes out of the ground. If it is a plant that's not going to be here that long, yeah, the thing is just going to freaking sprout up right away. You're not that kind of person. You're a oak tree, okay? You are a giant pine tree. You are something that's going to last for so long, and that needs a lot of time in that like gestation period in the roots, creating that foundation, creating that stability, making the space and the room and the structure and the nourishment of what it's going to take to support the grandness of your abundance and the grandness of your stability and the grandness of your fruit and your prosperity. It takes a lot of you getting your internal and external world more aligned. And that's what it was kind of waiting on, for the world to get aligned with you and for your internal and external world to get aligned as well. You got the boat card, which I always am drawn to the clouds in the sky, because to me this is like a representation of the clarity, you becoming more clear and you getting to the other side. And you were in this foggy stuff for so long, you just thought that the whole life was just going to be on this boat, that all of life was just going to be on this journey. But it's not. Like, there is a destination. The destination is here. It's coming for you. You can see the land in sight, and you are going to land and then be on this new land. Okay? Just because it has felt like you have been on rocky waters for maybe most of your life does not mean that that journey was your ultimate destination, okay? And this is that idea that it's like, can you please, which I feel like you have, I feel like you have kept the faith up. That's why this is here for you. But just hear the confirmation that you do not have to identify, or please don't identify with the struggle, because you are going to learn the lessons of the struggle and use the struggle as part of your lessons and leadership. But that is not you. That you are not, as a soul level, somebody that is in struggle and is in pain or is in stagnation. You are just frozen and stagnant, whatever, for that time. But if you zoomed out, you would realize that it was a while, but it's not as much time as the abundance and everything. Or it's fractional compared to the life you're going to live on this solid land, on this solid ground. So it's about you understanding you are not the journey. You will use the journey, but you are not the journey, and you are not the struggle, and you are not the pain that you've been through, and you are not the stagnation and the frozenness or whatever. A lot of that stagnation was protecting you. You have been protected. You've been protected for this whole time, and that's why. It protected so that you could go with your own, protected so that you could do your own healing, protected so you could go within, protected so that you could do the individual work on your own before you are introduced to a lot more people. Because you're going to land on this, you've been on the journey, and you're going to land wherever that this place is that the landing for you, this stability coming in for you, you're going to get there and there's going to be a lot of people that need your leadership and help. So it's like, you know, you had to do a lot on your own so that you really knew how to help people on their journey and stuff like that. Okay. Gazelle group. How's a career? What's going on in career? What's going on in career? What's going on in career? Got the ocean card. Like, of course. Yeah. Yeah. This is the divine masculine that I'm talking about. This divine masculine energy that you have within you. It takes a while to get cultivated. I mean, do you see the giant pine tree? Like, that's what I'm talking about. It takes a long time to build that stability. It takes a long time. And you know what? Like, this tree is in the spiritual world and in the like real world. It's in the darkness as much as it is in the light. And that's why you can go within into the darkness, into the light, and it took a while to integrate them both. That masculine and feminine, because you got the father energy, but then you got the nectar energy. But I think it's so funny that you got the ocean, because it's like, yes, you've been on the ocean, you've been in your emotion, you've been in these waters, but there's stilling and there's land ahead. And yeah, you're going to use this journey. You're going to use your depth and this stagnation and these emotions and stuff as all part of the testimony. And then you have this sweetness, this divinity, all of these cards, this has the black and white in the middle, the black and white tree, and the black and white rose. Like, you needed to go into both sides. You needed to go dark. You needed to go still so that you could have this movement. But you needed to understand both. Yeah. And then I open it to duality. You had to understand duality to become whole. You had to understand the duality to become integrated, to become one. Yeah. It's this split. It's like you had to go dark. You had to be in the depression. You had to be in the stagnation to really fully understand the joy and the peace and the colorful vibrancy that's going to come next for you. And yeah, I wish it wasn't like that. You know, I wish you didn't have to go so dark to go light, but that's just showing it. It's like, as much as you went dark, as much as it was stagnant, as much as it was sad, as much as it was painful, is as pleasurable and light and peaceful and happy and joyful and and vibrant as it's going to be. As cloudy as it was will be as clear as it will be. And it's here for you. It's coming. I do get that there is a little bit more patience involved, but now is the time to start getting excited. Now is the time to making sure that you're ready. Now is the time to make sure that you are not identifying with the pain and the struggle that you've been through, that is part of your testimony. A great testimony, a great story can move so many people. So it's like, can you start working on your testimony story? Can you start really like telling the perspective, like you're not in it anymore, but you are experienced, like detaching from the story so that you can tell it. Because if you're in it too much, it's like you can't tell the story because it's like you're not retrospect enough. But can you get a little retrospect on your story and get a little detached and being like, look how hard that was. Look how much I dealt with. Like, I was wild. But you're not as like in it. You're explaining it because it's in the past. So it's like getting into that space is what is calling for your career, because so much good is happening, but it needs you to be in a space of like detached from what you've been through a little bit. Yeah. And just focus a little bit more on the sweetness that's coming. And it takes a little faith. It's taking I'm not saying it's easy, but yeah. That's what I'm getting. All right. Okay. What should they embrace this Gazelle group for their career? What should be embraced for this Gazelle group? I can't make this shit up. I mean, magic at the end of the deck, okay? Embrace the fucking magic. Embrace that miracles happen. Can you embrace the energy of miracles? Can you embrace the energy of magic? I know you can, because you wouldn't have gone through this whole journey if you didn't believe that magic was available. But if you've felt a little stagnant from magic or whatever, it's here. Embrace it. Wow. Why I freaked out a little bit, why I'm kind of shocked, is because I was just saying, like, what it takes is detaching from the past. I just gave the whole spiel, and then detachment just comes out. Thank you, Spirit. All right, thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. Detaching from the past, detaching from the old, detaching from your poverty scarcity mindset. Again, I know these things aren't simple, but I believe in you. I know it. I know you're a leader. I know you believe in your leadership. I know you believe in this abundance, or you wouldn't have gone on the journey. But I know that we can get lost there, and sometimes we can identify with being lost, and it's hard. But stability and movement is here for you. It just takes a little bit detaching from what you've been through, detaching from the past, detaching from the old narratives, detaching from the poverty mindset, detaching from the idea that you're not a leader, detaching from the idea that you weren't fucking running the ship this whole time, that you were not captaining your own individual journey and this own forging a new path this whole time. Detaching from that negativity, detaching from not giving yourself enough credit, that kind of stuff. And then embracing the nectar, the joy, the passion of life. Like, what? These cards are the same colors, the same exact vibrating colors. Enjoying the sweetness. So it takes detaching from these ideas of the past, detaching from the old narrative, because you are not that journey. I'm not going to keep repeating it a million more times, but because I think you got it. But please, detaching from any of these old ideas of the struggle, which I get is hard and difficult, but detaching from that stagnation, the idea that you are stagnant. It's not like you have to just get out of the energy instantly, but detaching from the idea that that is who you are. Because who you are is an abundant leader who has an empire that has stability, that has long-term success and fulfillment. And embracing, if you can embrace anything right now, after you detach a little bit, because I know that this emptiness has what it's felt like. And filling it up with some passion, filling it up with excitement. Get ready. Get excited. Get passionate. Get creative, because it is here. And you're going to want to be in this passionate energy when it comes. You're going to want to feel creative and warm when it gets here. You don't want to have to land on this land of abundance and prosperity and be like frozen and stiff still, right? So it's like, loosen up, do some exercises, get warm. Like, we're almost there, so let's get ready. It's like if you've been on a long road trip for a long time, you don't want to get there and then like the car's a mess and you don't even have your shoes on and you're still sleeping. It's like you want to get there and be ready. You want to have your stuff in order, you want to have your shoes on and your makeup done or whatever, so that you can get out of the car and go. So it's that kind of thing. It's like, get ready, get passionate, get warmed up, get cleaned up, get sexy, because it is here for you. Abundance is here for you. Don't get tricked. Don't get it twisted. Like that, this time of coldness and stagnation and poverty or whatever was never who you are. You are abundance. You are a leader. And a lot of people want to know how you have calibrated your internal world to the external. So this could be something that you very much took for granted of this process that you are doing. Because once you land, people are going to have a lot of questions about how you did that. Okay? So embrace the passion, embrace the love, because abundance and legacy is here for you. And some leadership, all right? Get ready for this leadership. People are going to look up to you. All right? I love you so, so much, so deeply. I'm so excited for you. I have so much faith in you. And yeah, I just hope you can detach a little bit and get passionate right now, because it's coming, okay? It's coming. I promise you, it's coming, okay? I love you so much. Mwah. The social media and tip jar is down below. If you want to share some of this abundance, or maybe when all this coin comes in, you can come back and give me some abundance too. But I love you. I will see you again soon, and I'm so excited for you. All right? I love you. Bye. All right, if you pick the Swan card, this is your reading. These are your messages. When I look at the Swan card, immediately it's a reflection, right? Like, I don't even see the water, I just see the two swans. So it's kind of Gemini energy, but for me, it's a note to you of like how well you are doing at reflecting, and that the fact that your like spirit self is getting mirrored. You are a mirror to people. You are a mirror, and you reflect energies back. And also, like, you're such your spirit self is reflected so beautifully in this human body. But yeah, you're a mirror to people, meaning that you reflect back their energy, you reflect back their light, you bounce back light from other places and reflect it back into the world. It's very truthful. It's very like honesty and integrity and truth are very important to you. And you have amazing like heart chakra, throat, and third eye. You speak your truth. You act within truth. Yeah, it's just like you can see that whatever you're building with your career is built off of your truth. What is their career? How's their career going? The Swan group. Swan group's career. Swan group's career. Swan group's career. Ain't that for sure. You got the Strength card, and I always take this as the strength of being vulnerable, the strength of being sensitive, the strength of kind of taming the beast, and the strength of grace. And it's like, you're the swan. You've got all the grace in the world. It's a Swan card. Career. Swan group's career. How's the Swan group's career? How's the Swan group's career? The Swan group's career. Swan group's career. Swan group's career. Okay, so it's like very similar energies, even when I like clarify. You got the Two of Cups and the Lovers in reverse. And for this Swan, I think this is the Swan and this double Swan. It does have a lot to do with lovers. So I kind of need a second to understand what this is talking about, because I feel like there's something very repeating that I want to understand. I mean, okay, it could, for one, be that you've just been through a big breakup, or a breakup in general, that you obviously weren't expecting, or I won't say obviously, but something that came very unexpected, that brought down like what you thought you were stable in. It could be that you had a relationship kind of crumble, break up, and you thought that you were going to be building like a business, or your financial stability was going to be coming from this partnership. What I'm getting is that you weren't meant to be building with another person in that kind of a way, and that all of the love and things that you were supposed to be building with another person was meant for you to restore like the other half of you, not find the other half in the world, but for you to restore your other half. So when people are like, oh, this is my other half, it's like, no, you were meant to be whole. You are not meant to think like that. And so yeah, this could have really thrown you off, and it could be that you're in a sad place right now because you thought you were going to be building with somebody, and now you're having to embrace a lot of strength, a lot of willpower. It kind of makes me want to cry, because you really thought that you were going to be leveling up with somebody, and it came crashing down, or it didn't work out how it was supposed to, and you didn't level up, you didn't get promoted, or yeah, you just thought you were going to be building something with somebody, and it turned out that they couldn't do it, that it failed, or whatever. And I want to like sugarcoat it, but I just can't, because the energy is of truth, and it's somber. So yeah, honestly, this is what I'm getting. There's a late relationship, a partnership that you thought you were going to be building off of. We have the Tower card, so something came crumbling down, some breakup, falling out, literally falling out of the window, falling out. And what happened was you realizing that you weren't supposed to be leveling up with them. You weren't supposed to be leveling up with somebody where you thought that half of your power came from something else. It's like this is not another Swan. This is you. You are your own lover. Not that means you will not have a lover. Not that means that you won't have a partner. But in the idea that you thought that your empire, or the things you're building, or your business was going to be coming from, that half of it was going to be coming from a partner, that part is not part of your soul destiny that you signed up for, or that you wanted to do in this life to advance as a soul, was not coming from this partnership. And this is taking intense strength from your part. This is taking intense strength. And maybe you were really vulnerable, and it still came crashing down. Maybe you were really putting your heart on the line and all this stuff, and felt like you were really doing everything right, but it still didn't work out. And so, yeah, there's this sadness that needs to be healed from, that it's like I can't just take that away or whatever, as much as I would like to. But because of that, you're finding your inner strength. And as sad as this is, your soul doesn't want to feel like a half of you is coming from somebody else. It doesn't want to feel like an other half. It doesn't want to feel like, it doesn't want to feel like somebody else's other half. It really doesn't. That's not what your soul wants. And what your soul wants, and what has happened, is that you are the magician. You are living in your truth. You are being resourceful. You are using the tools and the lessons and the history and everything that has happened. And you were meant to use that as fuel to aid you in your creativity, in your business, and in your empire. The conflict that has happened, the conflict that you've dealt with from the past, because I'm sure this is not the only time that you've maybe been let down by people or had conflict and falling outs, because this seems like a very tough lesson of you realizing, as much as you can have love and have all of these things in your life, you deserve that 100%. Your partnerships in love was never meant to be the part that you built your business off of. Like maybe a partnership in love is 50-50, but when it comes to your business, when it comes to your career, it was never meant to be split. It was never meant to have another person have half of it. You are meant to have your full empire. You are meant to have your castle. You are meant to have your magical services, your magical industry, or whatever you're in, if you're a teacher, whatever business you're in, it was meant to be all yours. And other people just giving conflict, and you were healing from a lot of the stuff of the past. That's probably why kind of got into this situation in the first place, maybe, is because this is not just a wound that happened one time. This is probably something a tough lesson that you had to learn maybe a couple times. But because of that, you're finding your true strength. And I mean this on a soul deep, deep level, obviously, because this is with your heart. This is heart strengthening, and usually heart strengthening doesn't come until you kind of break the previous mold that it was in. That's what the heartbreak does. We have this mold of what we think is love and what we think is right for us and everything, and then when it breaks, that mold breaks, that template breaks, that security breaks, and now you're just open and vulnerable and stuff. But you're also way more expansive. You're also a lot bigger because you're not trapped within a mold. And even if that mold felt safe and secure, it wasn't true to your soul, because your soul is bigger. Your soul wants more. Your soul is meant to be in charge of more. Your soul is meant to be, you're just meant to be your own boss. You're meant to be your own leader. You're meant to be in your own craft. You're meant to have your own empire and run your own castle the way you want. So it was never meant to be split, because you're not even meant to have somebody that it was never meant to be a 50-50 thing when it comes to your career. And I think you were trying this loving relationship. Maybe you're somebody that doesn't separate your kind of business and love or whatever. But maybe there's meant to be a separation. Maybe there is meant to be some little bit of compartmentalizing, or at least boundaries or something. So it's not like saying that love isn't for you, the sharing isn't for you, your heart. It's that they're never supposed to be your other half. You are whole within yourself, and your soul wants that wholeness. And it's going to do whatever it takes to get that wholeness, no matter how it feels, no matter how sad and depressing. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I wish I could ease it and give relief. And I'm sure you'd be like, yeah, thank you. Me too. But that's because your soul wants to be the strongest. It wants to have that empire. And it wants you to be the magician and be in your own magic, and not have to kind of go to anybody else to check in or to feel whatever. It's like another person just observing us can have a lot of impact on us, even if they're just observing. So if it's somebody that you really have given half of your thoughts or half of your mind or half of your validation to, it was never meant to be like that. You were meant to get 100% of your own validation. You were meant to get completely balanced in your own energy, not based off of somebody else's energy. not balanced because they complete you. Like your soul wants to be 100% feeling complete in itself. And, normally I am giving a message of like, yeah, we all need to be connected. Like humans are meant to be connected. And it's not that that's not true. You are 100% meant to connect with other people. You're just meant to connect with them from the position of being the king and queen of your life and not needing somebody to be like, when it comes to career, they're not meant to share that. When it comes to your empire, they're not meant to share that. That's supposed to be all yours. This Swan group, what's going on with their career? How's the career of the Swan group? How's the career of the Swan group? How's the career of this Swan group? How's the career of this Swan group? How's the career of this Swan group? Yeah. You're the one. You are the one. You are the one that you're supposed to be relying on. When it comes to your career and finances, you are the one you're supposed to be relying on. You are the one giving and taking from yourself. When it comes to your career, you're supposed to find that heaven on earth because you built it and it's yours. You're meant to do something very innovative, something modern, that maybe other people wouldn't understand, or maybe it's just, I don't know, it's just she's getting this light onto herself, onto her own watch. You're on your own time. I think that's a big part of it, is that when you involve other people into your career, then their time starts to become part of the schedule or part of the timeline. It starts to, just even them being there and their perspective or whatever just changes the pace of things and stuff. And you're meant to go on your own pace, on your own time, your own discretion, your own wisdom, your own vision. You're supposed to put your own vision onto this world. And it's almost tough for me to say, because I'm like, is this, it feels like, is this right? Should it be that I'm kind of isolated in this business? But when it comes to what you're building for yourself, yeah, you're meant to be breathing on your own air, your own frequency. Not that you won't have connections and friendships and love and beauty and all these things. But when it comes to your career, when it comes to you relying on yourself, or when it comes on where, your financial stability, it's coming from yourself. It's coming from you creating your own heaven on earth. It's coming from you going within and breathing your own energy, your own air, and then deciding with that. I just keep looking at the swan, and it's like, yeah, this isn't another person down here. This is just your own reflection, looking back at your own self. And maybe you're doing something that's kind of traditional, so the other people's opinions, that the way they thought of it was like the own traditional way, and you're like, no, I'm doing things my way. I'm doing things modern. I'm doing things, I'm doing things, okay, the peacock feather just wants to come out. Okay. So I say so. I say that should happen. You should be meant to be proud in yourself. It's kind of Leo energy. You're meant to be proud of what you're own doing. And it's like, if another person comes in, another person creates stuff, you're not going to be as proud because you didn't do it all by yourself. All right. Wow. Okay. What is the career reflection for this group, the Swan group? You're the queen, the Leo freaking queen, okay? Oh my gosh. And then you got the self, okay? The self. And then this prism card being like the rainbow, it's like you were meant to reflect your own energy out into the world and reflect your own energy back to yourself. So maybe it is kind of isolating yourself and whatever. When it comes to business, when it comes to stuff, yeah. You're meant to just be by yourself. You're meant to be the queen. And that's not a sad thing, because you can be completely fulfilled from yourself, way more than you would be with another person. The queen and the self, come on. You are meant to have your own empire. You're meant to have your own castle. I said this. You know what, though? It's so intoxicating. It's so enticing to have another person. Because you're this siren. You're so beautiful. You have so much goodness and authenticity, and you're so alluring. So of course you're going to get into these relationships and whatever. Of course people are going to be drawn to it. But you're meant to be swimming on your own. You're meant to be getting things from other people, but then taking it back and doing your own thing. And just know that at the end of the day, you were always meant to be your own queen. Okay? Was it Queen Victoria? Queen Victoria had the largest and longest ruling reign over the whole world. And she did it by having no official king, okay? She might have had some lovers in different countries, okay? Little hoes in different area codes. But she was never meant to be in a partnership, because that would have limited her. And now we have so much architecture and design and style that comes from the Victorian era, because she was in her own frequency and she had her own empire. And she built off of her own stuff. And she didn't let anybody else tell her what the fuck to do. She was her own advisor. And she reflected in her own energy. And she had a very set style that she liked. And she was the biggest influence on the freaking world. As a leader, she was the longest reigning queen. She had the biggest reign over all the continents. She reigned for so long, the longest. By herself. And that's meant to be you. You're whole in yourself. Being a virgin, I heard, was not actually being that you were not without sex. I heard that the ancient version of being a virgin was a woman wholly onto herself, meaning that she's her own power. She's the high priestess of her own life. She is whole within herself. Nobody else completes her. Nobody else she gets validation from. She is holy and sacred because she decided that she was holy and sacred. Because she lives in her holiness and sacredness. That's why. I mean, this really makes me want to cry because it's sad, but it's so powerful. And it's like, yeah, you weren't meant to be splitting anything. You were meant to shine completely from yourself and to enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are whole by yourself. You do not need anybody else to be whole. You're creating the nirvana for your own life. And that is being in your own frequency, your own energy. You are a gem. You are a diamond, of course. So you're gonna attract a lot. But it's not like what you attract was meant to take anything from you. It wasn't meant to, you're a gem. You're going to reflect all of this beautiful light. And it's going to attract a lot, but it was just meant for you to send out your own vision, your own frequency, strong out. Yeah. It's like kind of Oprah-y. It's like Oprah is her own fucking thing. And maybe she has a partner or whatever, but when it comes to her own business, she's not splitting with anybody. Like, I don't know her, what her partner would have influence on in her own $1 billion empire or whatever. So it's like, yeah, she has love, but I don't know about that because all I know is her brand. All I know is her empire. And that's like the same energy. It's like, yeah, you can have love, you can have friendship, all these things, but that stuff was never meant to be a majority of your empire. And I think a part of that is because you have this sensitivity that needs to be sensed by yourself. Like, you need to really get into your own cycles and sense yourself and feel yourself and reflect. And any kind of person coming in there, you're just so sensitive that it just affects you too much. All right. What can you embrace or I don't know. Yeah, what can you embrace? Perspective. Wow. Wow. And then the dissolution and the space. Okay. And the vulnerability and the darkness. Cleanse. Yeah. Okay. It's embracing or getting a new perspective on the destruction, getting a new perspective on the darkness, getting a new perspective on how you gave these people vulnerability, and it still, you thought that would work, but it still didn't work out. And it's like, hey, but I put my soul on the line. Hey, but I shared myself. I did the thing. I showed them my cracks. And it's like, yes, bravo for being vulnerable in love, because that's really how that's really how we're meant to do it, to share ourselves. But can you get a new perspective that like none of that was wasted, and you don't ever have to fraction yourself off again, okay? You're not meant to have to do that. Can you get new perspective on the way that things dissolved? Can you get new perspective on the space that you have now? Maybe it feels empty. Maybe it feels lonely. Maybe it's like I built all this up and then it just dissolves. I get into this partnership and then it just dissolves. It just get into destruction. It's dark. It's like, but yeah, that was all part of the process. That was all meant to be. Can you get new perspective on that? Because please don't beat yourself up for it. Please don't, because you were really, really trying to attempt to bring love and do that. And I get it. It's like, that's so honorable. But get new perspective, because your vision, like, for one, all of the stuff you went through is only adding to your vision, only adding to your story, only adding to the queendom, okay? Don't think that people took anything from you. They might have taken your time, but it was all meant to, this process. Or maybe it really does feel like they took from you or whatever. But just know that it's only so that you could learn that you can do it all on your own, that you don't need them. And you had to kind of learn that way. That's just kind of, humans like to learn the hard way. All right. Can you cleanse your energy a little bit? Can you take that breath of fresh air? Who are you in your career? Yeah. You're meant to communicate with people. Your career is meant, you're meant to communicate as your career. And I think that clear channel of communication comes from you being solid in yourself, so that you can communicate with other people. But if you have another person in your corner also communicating to you in your ear, it's hard for you to give the communication out that you need to. So it's stepping in your power and knowing how much of an amazing communicator you are, knowing how much power you have on your own, knowing how much you help people learn, how much you learn on your own. You're a teacher, you're a communicator, and you are powerful. And your finances are only becoming more solid as you collect and solidify yourself and your own independence, and realize that you don't have to have anybody else supporting you. You don't have to, you're not meant to.